Welcome back, my friends. We're going to do a spin of the wheel. And then we're going to see about making a run through Genesis Battletoads and see if that goes any better. If you have to choose between NES and Genesis Battletoads, 100% play the NES game. Genesis Battletoads is jank trash. NES Battletoads is a glorious masterpiece, and this version is just garbage. And I know I'm a Nintendo kid, and I'm biased for Nintendo stuff, but I'm willing to admit when Genesis games are better. I like Castlevania and Contra better on the Genesis than the Super Nintendo. I do like the NES better than. I do like both of those better on NES than I do on the Genesis, though. So maybe that doesn't prove anything. Genesis Battletoads is just there's not enough bad things to say about it. Let's spin this wheel though before we dive into that. Number 9. That is cayenne chipotle sauce. This sauce is not memorable. NES is better than everything Rocket says. I am very prone to enjoying the NES. I tend to like 8-bit more than 16-bit. That old question of like if you had to pick only one console, what would it be? I could pretty easily pick the NES. Even though, even aware that doing so, if I picked NES as my one console, I would never get to play my favorite game ever again, which is Super Ghouls and Ghosts on the SNES. My favorite video game is a Super Nintendo game, and yet I still like the NES more. You know, I was gonna say this cayenne chipotle sauce. I was gonna say that it's very generic, and it kind of is. Like it's not very hot. It's about where like a standard Tabasco sauce is. It's kind of similar. Well, not exactly. I don't know. It's got another quality to it though. It's not as completely one note as I think I've previously accused it of being. It does actually have like a hint of like something smoky about it. Or I'm imagining it this time. I wouldn't be interested in a whole bottle of just this, though. The little mini bottle is fine. Pick just one retro game to only play for life. Well, my one game, like the question there, the like you could only play one game. My answer to that has always been a cheat, because I would say that I would pick Animal Crossing on the GameCube, because it's got a selection of NES games built into it. I like the bobblehead art style some of the SNES games had. Adam Sandler kind of has that. Back to the Future, the Japanese Back to the Future had a decent one too. Can't recall an exact game that had it though. This game is 50% memorization, 50% execution. Some of those tries took a lot of time to figure out. Zergling said Rat Race and Volksmeyer's Inferno are what get me. Yeah, that tower is awful. I'm reading the chat backward for a moment to catch up. I think I got everything though. Bucky O'Hare, never get sick of that one. I still haven't played that game yet. It's on my to-do list. Super Ghouls and Ghost, easy pick. Yeah, I probably wouldn't. See, I actually wouldn't pick that as my. I actually wouldn't pick that as my one game. I would be super sad to never play it again, but. If I had to pick one console, I already have. Powerful PC. Donkey Kong 81, Game and Fit says. Love chasing the that high score. EverQuest for one retro game, Zergling says. Does picking 50 video games included count? Does that count as a console or a game? Is that your choice for one console or one game? Both. Loved EverQuest. I was terrible at it, but loved it. This is the Genesis version, Game and Fit. This is Genesis Battletoads. I was defeated by NES Battletoads tonight, but we're gonna stick with the plan, and we're gonna attack Genesis Battletoads. See if I do any better. The thing about Genesis Battletoads, I'm probably gonna die. It's a very odd game because, like, everything that should, like, all the parts that are intentionally difficult are actually easier in this version. Like, the turbo tunnel is easier. The Inferno is easier. Hang on, I don't want to lose a life on stage 1. I'm gonna reset. Everything that should be hard is actually easier in this version, but the game is still overall way more difficult because its responsiveness is worse and its collision is just horrifying. Some would argue the amount of time I've spent on EverQuest, I've already played a life of playing only one game. This version looks like it was drawn with crayon and pencil. Both. Duh, Cal says. Yeah. Good answer. Good answer. Some of the bad guys look like they were done the same way as Mortal Kombat characters. I think aesthetically this is fine. Like, I think it looks fine. Some places it looks really good. I like the music. I like the music in this version. Except they took out the pause music, which is baffling. But I like the way a lot of the music sounds on the Genesis hardware. Those flies are impossible to grab. Do you see that? Oh my goodness, I'm gonna die here again. Good turn around. Of course. So I actually do have a definitive end goal with this game. If I can beat this game in a single credit with all 5 of those hearts filled, I will quit this game forever. That's all I want out of this one. I can safely throw the cartridge in the trash if I make that run. That's a lie, Frownie. You'll try the run again faster and become a speedrunner. I don't know if I'll ever speedrun another game. It would have to be something really terrible. Speaking of really terrible, I should have like 3 or 4 extra lives by now, and I got 0. This is not going to be the run. We will not be retiring Genesis Battletoads tonight. I'm going to let everyone know. Right now, I already know. I missed too many 1-ups. So there's that. Awesome. I'm not gaining lives, I'm losing them. Urban Yeti on GBA. I cannot say that I've played that one. I'm guessing that's a game about a Sasquatch who lives in the big city. And if that's true, then I'm about to sue someone for making a game out of my life story. No. I really wish the sword didn't pass through this thing 1,000 times. Another life lost. I can't afford this kind of thing. Battletoads. No fun. The one hit away from a 1-up on that bird. One hit away from a 1-up. It looks the same, right? It looks so similar to the NES game, and it's so different. I think if you're familiar with the NES game and you give the Genesis a try, you'll probably feel pretty quickly how this game just feels so much worse than the NES one in terms of its janky gameplay. But where it really shines through is here when you get to the Turbo Tunnel, and that weird paradox of the game. How the game is simultaneously easier but so much more difficult comes through here, because like the Turbo Tunnel here moves so much more slowly and is like outwardly thus so much easier than the NES one, but the collision here is so bad that there are just tons of times where like you'll go through the ramps or through the ground. That was bad driving. Love the colors and the sound. Yeah, aesthetically, there's really nothing wrong with this version. always would prefer the rugged charm of 8 bits, I think, but this version has its appeals in those categories. Those ramps that are up in the air like that, those gray ramps, those in particular are really tough to hit. See, this part is a lot slower than the NES version, because you can actually ride all the way to the edges of the floor, even in that last segment, or you can't do that on the NES. So far as things we've done on the stream, I have a spreadsheet now that should be publicly viewable. There's a command for it, the victories command. That link should show you a Google sheet that's got everything that we've beaten on the stream. And it has duplicate entries for games where we've done additional challenges, so you can see like what we've done 1 credit, what we've done deathless. Assuming that I figured out how to put together and share a Google sheet properly. That link should be curious for people who care about the stream history. You're always welcome to ask, you know, if I've played such and such game. I don't ever mind answering that question. But that is there for more convenient perusal. It's not exactly up to date, but it's really close. I think it's current through March. I think the only thing it doesn't have that we've beaten is Fester's Quest. One drop of water plus 1 drop of water equals 1 bigger drop of water. 1 plus 1 equals 1. Math is a lie. I mean, you know. 1 slice of ham, 1 slice of cheese, 2 slices of bread equals 1 sandwich. 1 plus 1 plus 2 equals 1. 5 air plus 100 air equals 1 air. I was wondering why you said x plus y equals z and not x plus x equals y. But you clarified. You answered my question before I had it. That went oddly. I'm still alive for now. There's a couple. There's a really nasty blind jump right here, though. So you have to jump down with that spiked turtle shell. Like, there's no indication of where it's gonna be. Run, Battletoad, run! Oh, that's bogus. Of all the ways to die, that is the most bogus way to die. I died on top of a checkpoint, by the way. You need to chill out. It's some good music. This song makes me think of the soundtrack to Paperboy. I'm probably less enthusiastic about this song than I am most of the other music. What? I'm convinced she's buried under the ground with her head sticking out of the dirt. That emote? She looks to me like she's half human, half 3¼ inch floppy disk. The way her head slides back and forth reminds me of the way the metal part moves back and forth on a floppy disk. Frog is to toad as cow is to horse. Don't think, or sorry, turtle. Turtle is to toad as cow is to horse. I still don't know if I see that, still don't know if I follow that analogy fully. That's not to say I don't get it, it's just, I'm thinking deeper on it. I don't know what would complete the analogy. To my satisfaction, though, so. I never liked those analogy questions. A is to B as 1 is to 2. Like, I never liked those questions. Not because I feel like I didn't get them, but because I feel like sometimes the logic of them was such an insane stretch. I don't like them also because they're so vague that you can usually make equally plausible arguments for a lot of solutions. And it's frustrating to deal with a teacher who's not wise enough to see that. Pink Scully says, I'm sleeping now, and Game & Fit's heading out too. Good night, my friends. I hope you both have an excellent rest of your night. Sleep well, and hopefully we'll get to see you again. Maybe you're planning on joining us later this week. We're doing Jump King and Warlock tomorrow. We're doing Splatterhouse on Thursday. And we're doing Jump King and Friday the 13th on Friday. Hope for no more Battletoads tragedy tonight. The snake level, this The snake level is an outright embarrassment on the Genesis. The way these snakes move is pathetic. If you watch the way they move around bends, the way huge sections of the snake just pop in and out of existence because for whatever reason they couldn't figure out how to animate them smoothly on the Genesis. It is shameful. It is shameful the way these snakes look. Well, welcome back, Gaming Fit. Even Odd Prime, welcome in. The snake level is the most boring level in the entire game. I kind of like the snake level on the NES. I can get being bored with it, but I don't know. Some of it's pretty tricky. It's really boring when you fall and you have to wait for the snakes to loop around, though. I 100% agree with you there. There's nowhere else where you have to wait like that I can think of. Warlock, I know nothing about that game. Me too, and that's the way I want to keep it. I'm only playing it because I know it's connected to the movie, and I just watched that recently, and that's an excellent movie. And I decided we're going to do the Genesis version. If it turns out to be a really short game, we might also do the Super NES version, but we'll see. We'll only do that if it's really short. But I had to choose the Genesis version. I love the Super NES, but the Genesis just has a certain degree of radness to it, where I think if your main hero is rocking a killer mullet, then like that just seems to me like the kind of game that belongs on the Genesis. No, I missed. Ooh, we have another raid coming in. It's our good friend Angelus. Welcome to the stream, my friend. Always great to see you. Be tricky. It's just never exciting. You only tried the NES version? You're not missing anything. The Genesis version is terrible. I don't like the Genesis Battletoads. I don't like this game at all. I'm beating it like I really can't even justify it. I'm kind of beating this game out of like part of it is out of love for the NES game, and part of it's out of spite toward this one for being so bad. I really like the look of this level. I love the colors here. The shade of blue and orange that they've gone with is super pleasing. Angela's playing Shantae tonight. I hope that treated you well, my friend. I've had a rough night. So we played Battletoads. We played NES Battletoads first tonight, but I failed. I couldn't beat it tonight. It was actually a really good run. I was doing really, really well, and then the final tower destroyed me. It was like I never played the game before. I made every blunder possible. I played so bad I didn't even finish the game. It was super sad. You think that blue is a dark purple? I see blue, like a cobalt blue. Oh no. Maybe I'm just getting old. Maybe it looks different on the capture. On your end. That wavy effect at the top of the screen is really messing with my eyes tonight. It's, I don't know, the scrolling along with that waving effect, my eyes are going out of focus a lot. Like one of those magic eye pictures. I think the one up in this section is lower too, but I don't remember exactly where it is. It's right in the middle. No, I forgot about that. Very subtly different. There are very small differences between the two games. The patterns here are not one for one. Shantae went great, made progress, always good to hear. The ocean is purple, whippersnappers. Played for months, got to Rat Race, gave up memorizing more levels. Rat Race is pretty brutal, Zergling says. Yeah, Rat Race is tough. It wasn't the hardest part of the game for me, but I get it. I mean, I didn't get it, you know, I wasn't, that's not to say I was super good at it, it's just I was worse at other parts. I feel like every Battletoads stream is just trauma bonding chats. It's a Battletoads. Battletoads is a war. If you've been through it, you can recognize that look in each other's eyes. I put the stream next to Egyptian Blue, and I could see some similarities there. You win this round. I mean... victory, I guess. I thought the third spring didn't spawn. I couldn't say. I thought it wasn't going to show up at all. Just run for it. There's no reason to fight them. I think jumping around the platforms like that is just harder in this game. I don't feel like I struggle with it nearly the same amount in the NES game. These electric guys up here fire much less frequently too. Makes that part a lot easier. No, I got pulled in. How? How did I get pulled in? I disagree. Never got past the turbo tunnel. The only way I found out there's more levels is I saw a video on YouTube, Angela says. That's a lot of people's story. A lot of people share that they play this and they never get past the turbo tunnel. And that's another one, like, I feel like I got the turbo tunnel fairly quickly, compared to, like, most of the rest of the game. I don't by any means feel more skilled than anyone else, but I feel like I'm differently skilled. I suppose, and it feels odd. It feels odd to be abnormal. Beef jerky is 50% off today. It's expensive and just makes you hungry. I know this because now that I've thought about it, I'm hungry again. Yeah, jerky. Jerky is crazy expensive. Distressingly so, because I really enjoy beef jerky. This fight is so much slower on the Genesis. It feels like we're fighting underwater. It feels like I'm doing this fight underwater. This guy moves so slow on the Genesis. I'm suddenly craving pizza. Jerky's loaded with MSG. Make your own. It's easy, but unfortunately not cheaper. I mean, if it's not cheaper. I guess you know, theoretically, if I made it for myself, it could be tastier and maybe even slightly healthier. So I guess there would be benefits, but the cost is my main concern. If making my own doesn't help with that, then I may be destined to never make my own jerky. Consider making my own jerky, if for nothing else, to have jerky without the sugar, yeah. I find that, like, you know, when I do my own cooking, I use very little, like, very, very little sugar. If at all. A lot of times, like, even if a recipe calls for sugar, I'll just omit it. And if I don't omit it, I will drastically reduce it. It's very rare that I use, and I usually use honey. I don't ever really use, like, granulated sugar. Not that honey is any different. Like, right, sugar is sugar, but like I very rarely ever use more than a teaspoon of honey in anything that I cook. It's like the maximum sugar that I'll use. That's why all my cakes and cookies come out terrible. But no, I bake. I don't bake anything. I'm talking about savory dishes that include, like, people might put people put like sugar in their, like, pasta sauces and like chili and stuff like that. And I have never seen a need for it. But I do use a touch of honey in my stir-fry sauce, because I feel like it helps it, like, thicken up and adhere better. And I'll use a touch in my marinades when I grill something for basically the same reason. Well, for the same reason. Honey is the way, or maybe brown sugar, or minimal white sugar. Sugar makes me nauseous, Prime says. Song sounds like an argument between two people. If you mean this part, I can agree. I can hear it. And one of the two really loses their temper there. Level 9 is getting me. Level 9 is getting me bad, my friends. I like sugar way too much. When I try to avoid it in general, I have a problem drinking it. I have no problem drinking it straight up if I let myself, so I don't. That's why I try to avoid it in general. Well, I think most people do, right? Because that's all sodas are. Is just straight up drinking sugar, pretty much. And I would say way more people drink sodas, and way too many of them than don't. I've recently cut them completely from my routine. I am a week and a day without a soda. I guess a week and 2 days now. It's not a long time, but I wasn't a heavy soda drinker. But about a month and a half ago, I cut out alcohol entirely. And then I replaced, and I didn't drink alcohol super regularly either. I mean, a couple times a week. But I cut out alcohol, and then I started drinking sodas when I would have had an adult beverage. And so then I was drinking double the amount of sodas, basically. And so now I cut out sodas too. So now they're both gone. Hey Aiden, welcome in. Persephone, welcome in as well. All of those are sugar. They are, but they don't taste exactly the same. So, if we're talking about like sugar for health reasons, then yeah, they're interchangeable. But if we're talking about sort of taste reasons, if you're gonna have sugar, you want to pick the one that matches your palate. They have coconut sugar now? I don't think I've seen that. Yeah. Sugar-free soda exists. This is true. I don't know that is sugar-free soda as popular as the full sugar stuff. Maybe even more. A single can of Coca-Cola already puts you over the daily limit of sugar, Game & Fit says. Cutting soda is tough. I cut energy drinks over 7 weeks ago. 51 days without life-changing, Aiden says. Hey, GG, Aiden. Have you ever tried Topo Chico? Carbonated mineral water. It's my go-to with greasy fast food. So I have had carbonated water drinks before. I haven't had carbonated mineral water, just flat mineral water. I've had like the flavored ones before, and they can be all right. They usually have a weird. I don't like a lot of sugar-free stuff because I don't like the weird aftertaste of artificial sweeteners. Zergling says, I demand you do better at this level right now. I wish I could, Zergling. I wish I could. It's the tower. It appears like the tower is my kryptonite in the NES game, and this level is my kryptonite in this one. I don't know why I'm so bad at it. I think these fish. I think that the enemies do more damage in this one than they do in the NES one. Maybe that's it. I don't feel like I have such a hard time. Are they doing the same amount of damage? Because if they're doing like 3 instead of 2 or something, that could explain it. Otherwise, I just don't know. I don't know why I'm so bad. Well, part of it, this fish that's right here and can and will knock me into the spikes, that fish isn't there in the NES game. If you move quickly, that fish never spawns. I don't know if it ever spawns, period, but it definitely doesn't if you move quickly. I think an eel usually spawns there, actually. Ah. 15-day no sugar challenge is beneficial to your health. By the time you're done, the sugar is completely out of your system, so you don't crave it anymore. I get my sugar from fruit, which is loaded with fiber. Your body can use that to make energy instead of getting a sugar rush. Yeah, so I was going to say 15 days with no sugar would be tough just because I tend to eat a couple pieces of fruit each day. Like, if we're saying, like, absolutely nothing with any sugar in it. You know, like, milk has sugar in it, right? I'd lose fruit and milk. That'd be a little tough. I haven't had any sugar or carbs in almost 2 months. The difference is staggering, Aiden says. I prefer sugar-free soda, Scully says. I like the taste. Yeah, the taste, it has an aftertaste that I can't take. I can only drink the sugar-free stuff since I can't have corn syrup, Cal says. Started the carnivore diet April 22nd. Had become too overweight, had knee and neck issues. The inflammation and excess weight down 33 pounds. All the pain and inflammation is gone. Right on, Yaden. That's fantastic. Diet right. There's a point where that was all my parents kept to the house, Game of Fit says. We didn't even have fresh water or tap water where we live. The tap water where we lived was a no-go. The whole time I drank those, I was allergic to them, so they were making me sick. Must have lasted a couple years. Oh no, that's really messed up, Game and Fit. It's the same damage. Oh, I can't account for why I'm doing bad, Zergling. Max score. Tried the carnivore diet a week. My muscles felt tighter than ever, but I was super tired, Gaming Fit says. I drink nothing but diet soda and water, Persephone says. 15 days of no sugar means literally no carbs, no thanks, Persephone says. So I drink water, milk, and coffee. And that's what I would drink even before I cut out. Even before I started cutting stuff out. Water, milk, and coffee were all I had most days. Hey, I tried something and it worked. When you punch, you freeze in place. In the water. That's very good to know. I wonder if I knew that before and forgot. Oh, that makes that so much easier. That makes that stuff so much easier. Oh. I'm glad no one ever told me about that, because I wouldn't be allowed to use it. Yeah. Maybe if they'd only give me 3 or 4 more extra lives. It takes longer than a week to adjust to the carnivore diet, Circling says. I need to eat a lot of carbs every day, or I lose too many pounds. Anemia is a jerk, Scully says. Have more energy, sleep better, stop snoring. Workouts have been good. It's interesting for sure. I don't eat vegetables anymore either, Yaden says. Not everyone can cold turkey carbs. Better to transition gradually for many. You get carbs from veggies and lentils and fruit. Fruit is technically not sugar. I've been wanting to tell you about punching forever, but knew it wouldn't happen if I told you. Well, thank you. Thank you for resisting, Zergling. Oh yeah, we're past the snakes, EpiPen. We're well past the snakes. Fruit is frequently fructose too. There's a lot I can't eat anymore, and life is very sad, Cal says. No. We want you to be a happy moo, my friend. Hey, we just got a new follow. Thank you for that. Welcome to the stream. I don't believe I've seen your name in the chat yet, so I'll let you be anonymous, but also let you know I'm very grateful for the follow. Thank you. Fruit has fiber to help prevent spiking. Unlike juice or candy, it's okay in moderation. If I remove carbs from my diet, I get extremely underweight and sickly, Scully says. Hey, thank you, Prime, for the follow. Glad to have you, glad to have you on board with us as well. Thank you for that. Thank you, Frownie. Wouldn't suggest having a fructose intolerance. It's rough. I'll try to remember. I'll try to remember to avoid picking one of those up. When the fructose intolerant salesman calls, I'll be sure to hang up real quick. If you start arguing what a real carnivore diet is, 100 people have 100 opinions. I look what's the word? I look dubiously upon almost all nutrition advice. Nutrition science is like kind of like I think it's a little bit more I think nutrition science is a little more precise than like tarot card reading, but maybe but not by as much as the word science would imply. It's like meteorology. The weatherman always boldly proclaims what the forecast is with a confidence that I don't think should be illegal. That I don't think should be legal for someone with his track record. Yeah, the data is the data is not in quite yet. Yeah, that's the thing. It's a very complicated thing, right? Because there's so many factors, and people are so different and so complex that even testing, because you only want to test, like in an experiment, you only want to test a single variable at a time, but it's hard to create to create a test that's not going to have interference from other factors, right? Yeah. A lot of fad diets out there. Just eat things in moderation and watch your calories, Persephone says. Well, see, that's the trick of a lot of fad diets, too, though, is for some people they work really well because by limiting your diet, you sort of accidentally limit your calories, right? So even if something does fall into the category of fad diet, that doesn't mean it can't be useful. I don't like nutrition science because when I'm looking up recipes, it always invades my page with 50 recipes to lose weight, eat less, lose weight with this 2-ingredient recipe. I hate it, Scully says. Carnivore is essentially meat and salt. Some consider eggs and butter part of it. I do beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. It's essentially no plants, just all animal products. Sorry for the long pauses in the game. I'm trying to keep up with the chat too. I can't do both things equally in a lot of parts of this game. Frownie's view on a nutrition science can best be summed up as Frownie considers everything a spoiler. If you tell him something he can't use it, he has to figure it out on his own. Brilliant, EpiPen. If I gave up potatoes, my Irish ancestors would disown me, Scully says. All right, I think I'm finally caught up. when I'm on this stage and I'm trying to read the chat, I'm losing 2 races simultaneously. It's a good problem. It's a good problem to have, but I feel guilty. Sprouts is the best grocery store ever. I don't know that I don't know I've ever been to a Sprouts. I might be missing out. This part is like automatic on the NES and not so much on the Genesis. Getting around those poison air vents. Oh, what is happening? Stop! Did you see that? He wouldn't go down. He just went across the gap over and over again. That's the worst thing that's ever happened. I want to strangle the flute player on this level. Black pepper seared tuna steaks. I've never had like a proper piece of tuna, I don't think. I really should. I've only ever eaten the stuff from the can. And I like the stuff from the can. But I suspect I'm not getting the same experience. What? Oh yeah, this boss is different. This boss is different in this version. You have to hit him from the opposite side. I really dislike how asymmetrical this battle arena is. It bothers me a lot that the camera isn't centered. I have a taste. I have a strong taste for asymmetry in like aesthetics, but not in my boss arenas. Sprouts are in the more southern half of the state. So it makes sense Frownie isn't familiar. You can lose your hair and pass out like I did, Game and Fit says. Yeah, don't do anything that does that to you. Very similar to a perfectly cooked filet mignon. So basically an affordable Whole Foods alternative. Good, probably the easiest thing in the world to make. 35 to 45-second sear on both sides. Slice with a sharp knife and done, Persephone says. Low iron causes your nails to break more and fall off. Oh no. If your fingernails stop growing, that indicates a serious heart problem. Oh, thank goodness I'm good there. Brownie, we really need to see those pipes on the left. Cows his head off the bed. Good night, my friend. Have a fantastic sleep, Cows. Thank you as always for being here. Really grateful for you. I appreciate your. I greatly appreciate your company and dependability, my friend. Hopefully, we'll see you again tomorrow. Sprouts is like if Whole Foods and a Trader Joe had a baby and it grew up following the Grateful Dead, EpiPen says. I don't know if I can fully appreciate the depth of that comparison, but it was amusing to read. There's sickle cell anemia, and then there's I bleed once a month type of anemia. I am the second. My pronouns are he, him, Scully says. Just cooking cast iron like I do, you'll never be concerned about iron then. That reads like a joke, but I think it's true. Narblast, welcome in. Thank you for the raid. How are you, my friend? Were you playing some NES tonight? Our friend Nar, if for anyone who doesn't know, is a fantastic retro streamer. The owner of a glorious mustache, and is working on an NES challenge to complete every NES game. And Nar isn't one of those who starts the challenge and then fizzles out. Nar is well into it. Well over 400 games completed. That's about halfway through the library. Trying to beat, and and perhaps the most interesting twist, trying to beat every game with real cartridges on real hardware, as blind as possible. It's a heroic endeavor. So shout outs to our friend. And tell us about your stream. What were you up to? How did it treat you? Sark, welcome in. Always great to see you, Sarconius. How did what were you playing tonight? I can picture it, but I don't remember what it was called. How did your stream go, my friend? The toads are not going super great. The toads are not going super great, Sark. I got bad news for you on that front. I tried NES Battletoads, and I did so badly I didn't even beat the game. I actually did really well. It was a fantastic run. Very few deaths except at the stormtrooper. He slaughtered me like he always does. There was no change there. But the rest of the game, very few deaths, was looking great. Got to the tower, hit a wall, lost all my lives, lost all my continues, couldn't even beat the game. It was sad. I was humiliated by Battletoads tonight. And now we're playing the Genesis game, which it's also going not well. It's going okay for now, but I don't think I'm going to meet my goal. My goal is to beat the game in one credit and have all 5 of those hearts still filled in at the end. Right? That would be a good run. Where I die few enough times that I don't have to see any empty hearts at the end. But I'm not going to get there tonight. I died way too many times on the water level. Way too many times. I'm falling behind in the chat a lot too, so thank you everyone for your patience. I really enjoy having you here and chatting with you. I'm sorry I can't do both things at once very well. Not with this game. Some games I can, but Battletoads is hard to do both things. A little over half with the unlicensed games added in, R says. Apparently Trader Joe's doesn't sell staples. Looking pretty good with Days of Thunder. Had a couple bad races. Still end up in second place overall. So we should be closing that one out tomorrow. Excellent. Good luck with that. Good luck with it. Hey, Demi, welcome in. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you coming along with the raid. I was hugging my cat. What happened? We just had a raid. Oh, thank you for the pistachios. Yeah, let's have some pistachio. Oh, jeez, it was sad, Sark. It was sad the way Battletoads treated me. We'll have some of these. This is like chili lemon pistachios, I think. Yeah, these will be good. I would make you snack and hydrate, but I don't have enough points. It's all right, Scully. As long as if you stick around, points are free. I wouldn't expect you to remember the name. Haya Kuju Sentai Gao Ranger. It was really fun. Would recommend. Oh, excellent. It's not very often. It's not very often that I get to hear that you had fun with the game, Sark. I feel like you enjoy roughly the same percentage of games that I enjoy. An undesirable one. Cast iron can increase the iron content in food by up to 16%. Hmm. Cast iron's an excellent choice for home defense. Thank you for the hydrate, Angelus. That's about all a cast iron is useful for to me. I know that cast iron can be great. I know that you can get great results from cast iron, but it's too high maintenance for me. I use ceramic non-stick and stainless steel. Stainless steel is my preference, but there's a few things like eggs that I'm just not bold enough to cook on steel. I know you can do it, but I don't know the trick of it. To be fair, oftentimes it's the achievement making an otherwise fun game miserable. Some would argue that's what I've done to Splatterhouse 2 by vowing to beat it deathless on the hardest difficulty. So I get where you're coming from in that regard too. Thank you for the thank you Angelus and Scully for the energy boost there. I don't feel good unless I'm drinking about a gallon of water a day, Game and Fit says. That's a lot of water. I'm a weakling. Moving a cast iron pan would be my exercise for the entire day. Is a Final Fantasy game where you use a cast iron pan? Home defense and strength training. Akimbo skillets. Alright. Let's see how badly the Klinger Winger treats me. When I die here, it's definitely my fault and not the game's. I'm ludicrously bad at the Klinger Winger. I was doing pretty well there for a moment. Yeah, the Genesis. So the thing is, the Genesis version is easier across the board. The thing is, the Genesis version is easier across the board. Like everything that's intentionally difficult, every part that's intentionally difficult is easier on the Genesis than it is on the NES. But the Genesis is so much harder overall because it's so janky. The non-responsiveness and the poor collision just make the Genesis a chore. It's crazy. It's crazy how it works out, because like the turbo tunnel is so much slower. The Klinger Winger is so much more generous. But then just your moment to moment gameplay is like you fall through platforms, and the hit detection is bogus. It's just alarmingly awful. It's really weird. It's really weird how it worked out. Eat the ball. I bet people complained about the NES version. I've complained a lot about the NES version of Battletoads. No. You're saying you wouldn't be interested in doing each level damageless in this version? I'm gonna pass on that one, Sark. I'm assuming you have done that. But I think I'm gonna pass her now. Well, my dream has died. My dream has died. The hearts are empty. So if you were wondering, yes, we will be playing Genesis Battletoads again next Tuesday. I declared that earlier. Because I knew that we were gonna have empty hearts, but now it's official. Any progress in Jump King lately, or is that it? Jump King's kind of on the back burner. We played it once last week, and I tied my PB, but didn't pass it. And I'm actually doing Jump King tomorrow and Friday this week. I haven't been doing daily Jump King, so I'm sort of in a holding pattern. Until I can get like a couple of these awful things off my schedule, until I can get Pugsley and Friday the 13th conquered, I kind of can't go daily on the Jump King, because I need the whole stream every night for those games. I failed Pugsley again last night. I played it again last night, Sark, and I failed again. I got up to the ice level, and I just had to quit. I just couldn't keep going. I was too beat. I was like, I know it means I have to play the whole game again, but that's gonna be future Frownie's problem to worry about. So it's gonna be my third time going through, like, you know, what I have to presume is most of the game. The ice level's got to be the last or next to last level, so the other five I've gone through twice already. Only one of them I've already gone through 3 times. So the first night I played Pugsley, I only cleared 1 level the entire first night. Yeah, that ice level is awful. I got up to a puzzle room in the ice level, and I don't know what to do. I can't figure out how to get to the door to exit the room that I'm in. There's some sort of invisible block puzzle, and I can spawn a platform, but it's too low to reach the door, so I'm stuck. I got there, and it's horrible too. I got to that room with like 3 lives, and I was feeling so good because I was like, all right, we're gonna reach the boss. I still have a lot of lives. This is looking great. And then I got to a puzzle and couldn't solve it, and now I'm stuck. Ugh. Life is kind of tragic sometimes. Yeah, I figured you would know what puzzle. I like the yellow rhino skull, he says. You ever think about how it's dumb the Sega names their second or third gaming system and like the 40th gaming system out there, Genesis? Well, I mean, game console names rarely make a whole lot of sense, right? I think Sony's the only one that's done it really well, right? I remember seeing you do very poorly at this part. It's pretty much every time I play this part. It's a little silly that playing the game in one continue will maximize your score. I mean, if you stop to farm, you can maximize your score. Yeah, you can maximize your score real easily. You can maximize it in a single life. It's actually harder to beat the game without a maximum score than to beat it with one. In regard to that, though. Yeah, oh yeah, sorry. I even forgot about that part. Yeah, when you die, oh, I hate the way the coins work in that game. I hate that they did that. That the coins don't come back even when you use a continue. Like, that doesn't happen by accident. That is intentional malice. Your Honor, I have definitive proof that the defendant acted with forethought and malice. I can understand. I could understand the coins not respawning when you die. But to have them not respawn when you use a continue is... There are no words for this cruelty. I think I'm dead. I was getting really salty in that room on 1 heart. 1 heart, 1 credit. You get the whole game, 1 heart, 1 credit? For real? Did you have to turn down your lives too? Was it 1 heart, 1 credit, and only 3 lives? Oh, what have I done? My message is purple now. I told you, people that hate that game made that game hated video games and want you to hate them too. There's a life farming trick only viable in emulation. Oh, well, I'll never solve it. Still, just some of those rooms. I don't know how you got through some of those rooms on one heart, Sark. Some of those ice rooms where you have to slide under spikes. I cannot figure out how to slide through those spikes without taking damage. It is not working out for me. There's gotta be, like, I know there's gotta be a trick to it, and I just can't work out the trick to it. So I'm at the mercy of I've gotta get there with I've gotta get to those parts with a hit to spare. Come on. I'm very, very upset. We're almost to the boss. I was on my last life, but I think I can beat the boss in one life in this version. But I couldn't. I had to fall through the platform. "99 lives wasn't enough the first time." Oh. I'm gonna have nightmares. I'm gonna have nightmares tonight. You want a nightmare? Open this mystery box. One heart, one credit. Pugsley scavenger hunt. So I guess in Pugsley Scavenger Hunt, you could farm lives through points in that game. If I was going to try and farm lives, because coins don't respawn and 1-ups don't respawn, but you do get lives for points. So you'd have to find a spot where an enemy respawns constantly. And then you could farm that for points. Would be my hypothesis. I don't know. It seems like there are enemies that throw projectiles, and you can jump on the projectiles, sort of as if they were enemies. I don't know if you get points for that though, so that might not be viable. There are during most of the boss fights. Though, minor enemies will spawn during the boss fight, so you maybe could enter a boss battle and farm minor enemies during the boss fight if you are the most talented gamer to ever walk the earth. Don't be getting any ideas. Just theorizing, just thinking out loud, not fishing for hints, just thinking out loud. Trying to talk myself into the 1 heart 1 credit run. At some point the stream becomes an exercise of me pushing the limits to see how ugly of a game challenge I can come up with to drive away all of my loyal viewers. That one would be cheating, though, since I didn't come up with that challenge on my own. Maybe that makes us safe from it. Yeah, no! It's a plan just so crazy it might work. I would love to see a spoiler bot account created. Oh. So, to track how many times a spoiler is dropped in the stream. I wouldn't want that because it might incentivize people to raise the number. I'm pretty. I generally I try very hard to be fairly laid back on the stream, but I don't tolerate spoilers and backseating in very good humor. Three a.m. sneaks up on us. 3 a.m. sneaks up on us. Yeah. Yeah, people say, I won't tell you anything about the game. All I'll say is, and then they say something that... approaching 100% of the time, a sentence that has all I'll say is includes something following it that I don't want to hear. I've met a couple people who are insufferable about spoilers and just can't help themselves. People around here are really good about it. I don't. I mean, I could probably count on. I could count on one hand, I think, the amount of times where someone has, like, engaged in backseating when they, like, should know better, like, has intentionally broken the no backseating rule. Like, it's probably fewer than 5 times. Like, it's almost always that it comes up by accident or is from someone who doesn't know any better. I feel a little weird sometimes because, like, other streamers who watch the stream and know me pretty well sometimes, like, become really guarded. Like, if I'm in their chat, like, it's nice and it's flattering, but, like, streamers that know me really well sometimes become really guarded when they know that I'm in their chat because they don't want to spoil things for me. And, like, that's really kind of people to do that. But on the other hand, like, I mean, if I'm in your chat, like, you don't owe me anything. if I'm there and something gets spoiled for me, like, that's on me. I would never dream of, like, wanting to tie a streamer's tongue from inside of their chat. That would be like, that would be horrible of me. But it is nice when people watch out for me. I can't say it isn't, but I'm a monster. I'm a monster on my stream, but I don't want to go around being a monster in someone else's chat. People in Dark Souls blind runs are pretty terrible about spoilers. Yeah, we got lucky. The only time someone dropped a spoiler on me in Dark Souls, I feel like it happened once, but it was something I already knew, and it happened a second time, but it was information I couldn't use. Once it happened to me, and it was something I'd already figured out, so they didn't act like they thought they were spoiling something, or they were being incautious in a way they shouldn't have been. But it didn't matter because I'd already figured out what they were spoiling. And another time, someone told me something super technical about one of the bosses, and it was just information that I wouldn't have been able to process any use out of. Like, the kind of stuff that, like, you have to, like, have it was something about the boss's, like attack or damage stats or something. It was just completely useless to me. that instance, that second instance did actually get the person temporarily banned. Which doesn't happen around here a lot either. That happened. I got in trouble for that once. Was new to Twitch. Had no idea what a blind playthrough was. Got spanked really hard. Didn't even know at the time. Used a double reinforced cast iron skillet with barbed wire wrapped around it. Oh my. I vowed to never tell anyone anything ever again. Still haven't played any Souls games. I have a feeling I'd get hit with spoilers, Nato says. You just may. I got really lucky. I don't think anything useful was ever spoiled for me. My Dark Souls playthrough went just fine. It's not even like... I am the cause of everything bad right now. It's not even that the game is robbing me. I'm just playing poorly at this point. You know, I heard a lot of horror stories. Like, people told me that backseating and spoiling happens in Dark Souls playthroughs really heavily. But yeah, I didn't have a lot of instances of it. And someone, it might have partially been because I spent most of my time streaming in the retro category and not the Dark Souls category. So maybe fewer Dark Souls enthusiasts found the stream. That might have been something that protected me a significant amount. But your mods seem to be pretty on top of things too when they're around, Nato. So I think you've got a decent layer. I think you've got a decent layer of protection. No. We were there. We were there. Why? Why couldn't I land on that platform? That was literally the last platform. And now the wind is gonna kill me? Oh, it didn't. Thank goodness. It wouldn't stop me from playing, fortunately. Excellent. I'd enjoy dropping in for that. Get a taste of what everyone else got to feel watching me struggle my way through it. Blind is definitely the most fun. Played most popular SNES RPGs blind. Took 3 whole tries to beat. Worth it. I haven't gone through a lot of RPGs. But yeah, that's the way I want to do everything now. I had a couple I had a couple very significant gaming experiences leading up to and very early on in the life of the stream that really shaped me into the blind playthrough monster that I've become. I had a pretty non-caring attitude toward like any forms of advanced information about games for a long time. Like it didn't really matter how much or little that I knew about anything for probably the majority of my life. But Breath of the Wild changed me a lot because I went into Breath of the Wild and I had by accident essentially missed all, like, I had no information about that game going in. The only two facts I knew about it were that it's a Zelda game and it was supposed to be open world, whatever that meant for a Zelda game. But I hadn't watched any of the marketing, hadn't seen a trailer, or received any information about it. And when I played it for the first time, like, I didn't even know that Link could climb in the game, and I would assume that is something that would have been very heavily given away in advertisement for the game. But I was so ignorant of what I was going into that I didn't even know that climbing was a thing in the game, and like that immediately blew my mind. The climb anywhere thing was just amazing, and then just the first few hours on the plateau in that game, and like working out how like the physics of the game works. It was sort of a perfect storm because like I hadn't played a modern game in a very long time, and that one is such a delightful sandbox of like just stuff I would never expect to be able to do. That really shaped like a powerful appreciation for the joy of like the surprise that you can have by refusing to know anything about a game before you play it. And so that experience did a lot to me. But that was before the stream. And then very early on to the stream, I played Kirby's Dream Land 2. And I went into Kirby's Dream Land 2. I went into it with, like, I'd played the first Kirby's Dream Land, and I expected the second to be very similar to the first. And so I went into it expecting a game that I'd probably beat in about an hour. And I got one of the most like mind-bending puzzle experiences that has ever happened to me. I found that Kirby's Dream Land 2 is not a game to be taken lightly. It is a beast of a game. I had awoken a dragon, and I had already determined to beat the game that night in one sitting. And it turned into what was for me then, very early on into the stream, an epic 9-hour stream. And I made it all the way through. Without looking anything up, I solved all the puzzles of the game, even at the end, missing a vital piece of information that meant I had to brute force a 16 decision deep pick-a-path situation to find all the secret collectibles and get the true ending. I had to break out a legal pad and map out just room after room of this pick-a-path for like 3 hours. I thought it was never gonna end. But But making it through that and doing it all on my own, like, and even it wasn't until months later that I found out that picket path has a solution built into the game, and I just never found it where the game tells you the solution. Like that changed me. That changed me a lot too. That taught me how much I can accomplish if I'm willing to struggle long enough. And that I can even overcome obstacles in games while missing vital pieces of information. So that's the way I try to play everything now. I try to beat everything through sheer suffering. And I actively try to do it while missing pieces of information. I remember you told me once that just having you come up with an idea was too much, and then you refused to use it out of principle. Yeah, I don't like. Well, things like that, like offering hints and suggestions and ideas is something I can't really open the floor to because that has to be done on an honor system, and there's no defense against malicious actors who can just say they have an idea when they're really experts in the game. Blind is definitely the most fun. Most fun. Okay, I got that. It's not a law that you have to stream your first run, although I understand the sentiment about wanting to stream everything you do. Oh yeah. When the developers had Miyamoto try the game, he just climbed trees. After one tree, he'd go to the next one, and climb that one too, then another and another. Someone said, "Sir, there are other things to do in the game," and he just continued climbing trees. I don't know if that's a joke or a true story, but I like it. Oh, Nato's heading off to dinner. Thank you for your company, my friend. Have a great dinner, and be well until I see you next time. That matches the origin story very much. That's 100% true. The climber of the trees. Yeah, so Breath of the Wild and Kirby's Dream Land 2 are very special to me. They're games I can pinpoint where they have done significant things. Like they've done significant damage to the way I play games. let's be realistic about what it is. But I'm grateful for that damage. I love the first playthrough. I love when the first playthrough becomes an accidental challenge run because I don't know something about the game. That's the thing I crave. That's the thing I actively crave is for my first playthroughs to be accidental challenge runs. It's interesting, Zergling, that it's interesting that you would be the one to suggest the sentence that is not a law that I have to stream my first playthroughs, because the thing about that is if I didn't stream my first playthroughs, I would only stream challenge runs, and I feel like those are the things that drive you crazy when I do them. Because if I wasn't streaming the game to share the, to display the learning process, I would probably only be interested in streaming it to go through the challenge grind. They considered making an alien invasion take over Hyrule. There's a picture of it online that came directly from the developers. They should save that for a future game. It would be fun. Shigeru was a little wild forest child growing up. He would explore the woods, and that's how he created Zelda. I've heard that story, and I've always felt like I lean more toward a preference for the Zelda games where you play as young Link, because I think, like, I like that. I like the whimsy of that story, like the charm of the game being inspired by like that childhood sense of going out and exploring the wilds of your home environment. Post the picture in the Discord. Thank you, Game and Fit. Yeah, that'd be interesting to check out. I think I'm gonna strike out. I think I'm gonna strike out on every Battletoads game. How is it 5 o'clock already? Yeah, I think I've heard that about Star Fox before too. That that seems familiar to me. The question is just really, which platform am I going to fall through this time? Oops. I can't afford to do that. The boss is easy compared to getting to her. Angela says, "Well, I made it to the boss on the NES Battletoads, and I tripped at the finish line there. So, don't congratulate me too early." Well, you could very well be in for another stunning disappointment. I just want to see something. I have a life to spare. It doesn't kill you in this one. On the NES game, when she comes up like that, she can kill you in the NES game. I know that because the very first time I beat the game, she killed me coming back up at the end like that, and it was my last life. Thank you for the GG, Angelus. Alright, we beat this one. It was ugly. It was horrible. It's not the run we wanted. So we're gonna play Battletoads. We're gonna play this game again next week. Tuesday it'll be NES and Genesis Battletoads. If I start the stream early enough, like if I can start around 10 o'clock, we would still have time for the Super NES game. But it's after 5. It's like 5:20 right now, and I'd like to be in bed by 6, so... You're currently better at Genesis Toads than NES Toads now? Well, last week it was the opposite. Hey, Prime, thank you for the 100 bits. That's very kind of you. Very much appreciated. Thank you for your generosity. Yeah, she gets away to set up for the sequels. I think that's going to be the end of our stream tonight, my friends. Two rough runs through Battletoads. Oh, we're going to do the wheel first, I see. So, we're not going to run away that quickly. We'll make quick work of the wheel, though. Number 1. We already had this one tonight. Jalapeno Fuego. It's got a kick. The wheel certainly favors a few numbers. So, next, so tomorrow night, I should be here every night for the rest of this week. Target time for startup is 11 p.m. Central Time, but I tend to run a little late. Sometimes early, but more often than not a little late. But give or take, around 11 p.m. is when we'll arrive. We're going to start tomorrow night with Jump King, and then we're going to do a first playthrough of Warlock on the Genesis. Going in completely blind. I picked the game just because I saw the movie and I liked it. I know nothing about the game, though. It's not bad. Think you'll really enjoy Warlock? I hope so. I hope so. It'd be nice to have one game that I enjoy on the schedule. Yeah, that doesn't have as much kick after I've already had a couple things. That doesn't have quite the punch it did earlier tonight. I didn't get as much of that vegetable flavor either. Much for the better, though. So Jump King and Warlock. Thursday night is Splatterhouse. There'll be Splatterhouse 2 guaranteed. Possibility of Splatterhouse 3. But don't hold your breath for that one. And Friday night, Jump King, and Friday the 13th. Our third night with Friday the 13th. Maybe we'll win. I've gained a lot of wisdom about Friday the 13th from our previous couple sessions. So I have a plan of attack. We'll see how it goes. That's all I have. I have a plan. No solid hopes that it's gonna work. 2 more days to my birthday. Since I don't usually stream on Friday anymore, there won't be a stream on my birthday. It's okay. I play Final Fantasy IV all this month, possibly next month, depending on how long it takes. Right on. Infernax. Yeah, that game looked like Castlevania 2. That's been on my wish list for a while as well. I just haven't pulled the trigger on grabbing it. You'll die as many times as there are days of the year if you hold your breath for Splatterhouse 3. I feel like that's, might not be inaccurate. It's like a buffet of all of your favorite retro stuff wrapped up in one nice gift. I'm just picking a raid target for us. Thank you for your patience. I'm checking out a lot of options before I land on one. Couple people playing a couple games that I like, but not really grabbing me. So we'll go somewhere familiar. Had fun. Night. Hey, thank you, Prime. Really appreciate having you here. Hopefully we will see you again. Thank you again for the bits and for the follow. See you next time, Frownie. Better luck next time. You'll totally get it if you keep hopping. I hope so. I hope so. Alright, so I'm going to send us over to Past the Plunger. I haven't gone that way in a while. He's got a very chill stream. Likes retro stuff, likes real hardware. He's been playing through all the Zelda games. Is on one of the Oracles. Oracle of Seasons. I actually haven't played that, so I can't watch the game too closely. But it's a very friendly environment to hang out in. So we'll drop this way. One last time, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for being here tonight. Sorry the runs didn't go so well. Battletoads are hard games. Everything I play is hard. Every game's way too hard. I don't make good decisions, but thank you for being here with me. You ease a lot of the pain with your fellowship, my friends. Be well until I get to see you again. Hopefully we will share one another's company very soon. But we are all out of things to do here for tonight. It is time to head out. Let's go on an adventure.